Evening, and welcome back to my Frontier base in Factorio. So, since last time, I've been pushing towards getting everything beaconed and moduled, and the first step to that is to make beacons. So now that I have blue circuits, I've slapped down a bunch of module making fabs by the side of the blue circuit site, because this already has blue circuits, reds and greens, which is what you need for modules. This isn't a long-term solution. It's really to get me bootstrapped up because I need modules and beacons at all of the production areas to get enough throughput to be able to get everything going properly out here. And there's really no point making a dedicated module site out in the middle of nowhere where I have to train things in that I've already trained in. So this is the site. It's using a setup which I've used in Sandbox quite regularly, but never used in-game before. So there's a fabrication area for each of the three types of modules, and it's fully beaconed, and unfortunately you can't put productivity mods into these things because they're in products, so there's speed modules in the fabs themselves as well as in the beacons. So once this is up and running, it produces a crap ton of modules. Obviously, the danger of that is that you turn everything in the universe into modules because they're quite expensive. So each of these three areas is isolated with a switch. So the speed modules are waiting for the signal S to be greater than 0. While it's greater than 0, they will be making speed modules. This is the efficiency modules, and this is the productivity modules, and they're listening to S, E, and P. So if we look here, you probably can't see it, but the S signal currently is 998, the P is 959, and efficiency E is -5. I've set up these requesters to request the modules out. When this thing's running at full speed, the bots often can't keep up emptying passive providers for the tier 3 components. There's only 2 tier 3 fabs for each block. So I use an active provider to push that stuff out. You need somewhere to put it, so there's a requester chests here to request it in. Let's just grab those and get them put in somewhere. So it's just bootstrapping itself up at the moment, making speed modules for itself. So if there are some combinators here, and so the first one is the constant combinator. That says how many modules I would like it to make before it switches itself off. So I'd like 1,000 speed, I'd like 10 efficiency, and 1,000 productivity. We've already achieved that for the efficiency, and we haven't got close for the productivity or the speed modules. Whenever the speeds get made, I keep picking them up and then they get put in here because, you know, it's all about getting things going. So these chests, the content gets added up, put through a -1 arithmetic combinator. I'm using the each signal here, and the point of that is that it does this job for all of the things that has a non-zero count. So it multiplies by -1. So if I want 1,000 speed modules, I end up with an output of -1,000 from here. Sorry, got that around the wrong way. So if I want 1,000 speed modules, I put in 1,000 here, and that count of 1,000 counts towards S. Then I add up the number of items that have already been made and put that through this negating arithmetic one, so that it takes away how many there are from how many I would like. And then this simply converts the count of the speed 3 mods, which is how many I want minus how many I've got, into the signal S, which is then pushed up the wire. It's a little bit baroque. I suppose I could be pushing speed mods directly up the wire. I had originally done it in Sandbox using S, E, and P, and it was just quicker to bodge it with those signals than it was to redesign the switches. I probably should redesign it. I've used a mismatch of green and red wires here. I try now to stick to sending signals which are aspirations down red wires and signals which are measurements down green wires. However, that design principle happened to me after I'd already designed these in Sandbox. So you got some green wires here carrying the aspirational signals, how many modules are still to be made. I will get around to tidying that up. I find those kind of design things keep me sane. And of course then I have to convert old stuff. So this is the blue circuit site. Now you can see nothing's really happening. The issue I've been having all day is with green circuits. So let's go over to green. So we're now making quite a lot of green circuits, and when everything's running nicely, a lot of green circuits get made. You can see right now it's dead, and the reason it's dead is because we have no copper. So an hour or two ago, the reason we had no copper was because there was only one copper train coming in. I then added a second copper train, and that got everything going again swimmingly. And then the copper smelting area, it's going flat out, and it just can't keep up with two of these guys going. In fact, there's a third one. There's one in the stacker. Because I'm taking 2 8 carriages of copper to green circuits and 1 to red circuits. So these things are running flat out, bless them. They just can't keep up with the load. Now, this would all be fixed if this area was beaconed and moduled, but I don't have the modules because I haven't got the green circuits. So I'm in this catch-22. So I think the next thing to do is to open up another copper smelting area and pretty much copy paste this entire thing and double my copper production. So there's a block over here. I really want something which is this width so that I can reuse this array. That's not really quite wide enough. Also moving forward in the game, this is about half the size I'm aiming for. I want something 7, 8, 9, 1 gig in size. So I'm thinking this is the one to go for. It's 7-ish. And the width on it is enough to be able to fit my double width smelting array. So I think I'm going to clear out this area next. It also gives me access to an oil patch, and I can just extend probably this line to provide access for it. So probably what I will do is blueprint this, see if I want to stick it that way, horizontally or vertically. Then I will extend probably this train line. I could bring one in across here, but we've already got the junction down at the bottom, and that would bring it in on its on effectively a dedicated line to bring in copper to green circuits. So I think that's my next job. The other thing I've done is around the plastic production. So you may remember plastic was bottlenecking before. Plastic production still isn't awesome, but I'm now much closer to sensible levels of plastic. So these are the plastic making machines here, and they're hovering around green. So that the red ones flick on and off. They're lacking petroleum. I've got this full site making petroleum as fast as it can make and cracking everything down to petroleum. I also have this site which was making solid fuel and rocket fuel. Now, I'm not using very much rocket fuel at the moment because it's mainly being used to fuel trains. So what I've been doing is, with the logistics network, checking to see if the solid fuel has backed up. The solid fuel is only being made when there's fewer than 500 solid fuel in the logistics network. So whenever there's more than 500, I'm then opening up a set of pumps which allows all the products from this refinery area to be pushed out. And what happens is they are pushed through heavy oil and light oil cracking. I've not even bothered vaguely guessing ratios here. I just stuck in far too much cracking so that everything was converted into petroleum. Then I take out a petroleum line from this refinery, then with a pump add it to the output we have here, and so that effectively doubles the amount of petroleum which is going into plastic making. And that sort of has done the job. So we're now making plastic, and although we're not filling up these trains instantaneously, it's actually being made faster than it can be consumed by the red circuits area. So you can see there's still some plastic in some of these chests in the red circuits. So I think we're okay. When this does become a bottleneck, I'm going to probably need to set up another plastics area. Hopefully by then I will have bots and beacons, and we can bot and beacon the plastics area that we already have and get a bit more work from it. So that's where I'm at. The only other thing I've done is with my suit. So I've put in 4 Mark II batteries because I was finding with big builds, particularly with laying out loads of rails, that my bots were running out of power, not able to recharge, and that's just painful. So fingers crossed, by adding in 4 Mark II batteries, I'll be able to go a bit longer building rails before everything crawls to a stop. That's really it. So thanks for listening. Fingers crossed tomorrow I won't have a green circuits bottleneck, and we will have modules and beacons, and everything will be much, much happier. Good night.